Anyway, we move on. Sahih Muslim 134c, Book 1, Hadith 252. The Satan comes to every one of you and says, who created this and that? Till he questions who created your Lord. When he comes to that, one should seek refuge in Allah and keep away from such idle thoughts. So this hadith is saying that anybody who questions a Muslim and says, Allah created this, then did he create that? Did he create that? Did he create that? Until he says, so who created Allah then? If anybody says that according to this hadith, that means Satan is in their ear. And Muslims are told to keep away from them because these are idle thoughts. They're not idle thoughts, but that's a natural question any child asks. And some of you have come across the fact that children ask that question when you introduce them to God and say, God did this and God created us. And then they say, yeah, but who created God? And then you're stuck, right?
My 7-year-old son asked me yesterday, who made Allah? He's well aware of Allah. He's 7 years of age. The Prophet, he also knows the prophets, may Allah be pleased, may Allah, peace and blessing be upon them, and he is studying the Quran. How do I answer such questions? See, these kids come up with strange questions. The vast majority of us Muslims don't know how to respond. And usually our response is violent, either by shutting the kid down and trying to reprimand him for what he had said, when he doesn't know that this is wrong. So for your child, first of all, you have to logic with him and use the Sharia. In logic, we mean that you ask him, what is the definition of a human being? Someone who's born, lives, eats and drinks and dies. Okay? So what is the definition of God? The main description of a God is that he is uncreated. Because if a God is created, then he can't be God.
And now, the reason obviously they put and made up this hadith is Sahih Muslim, authentic by the Imam Muslim, all right? The reason why they put that out is because that's a difficult question for them to answer, and they didn't like it. So they put that out as a buffer to protect themselves of an obvious question everybody's going to ask, say, where did he come from, who created him, right? Now, that's an easy question to break down when you say, okay, their teaching is Allah is the uncreated, right? That's what you teach. How do you break that down? Quite simply. Well, if Allah is the uncreated, did he exist in something? To exist, you are inside of something. You can't get around that. If you exist, you're inside of something that is bigger than you. So if you have always existed inside something bigger than you, who created the thing that is bigger than you? Because you're not Allah Akbar then, are you? Because the thing that you reside in, for whatever form you are in, you can't get away from the fact Allah exists in something, and that thing is always bigger than Allah. You're done. So the question would be, who created that bigger thing that you exist in? You can't answer that. And that's why they put these hadiths out as buffers and protectors to protect their weak religion.